Hi, I'm Will Cedric.
I'm Gabe.
And this is Inside the Bot. Gabe, where have you been?
I've been at insomnia.
Not good enough.
No, what do you mean? No, but it means like what I've been doing is I've been doing a powerful robot battling weekend, which culminated in me getting a death threat, which was pretty cool.
Sweet. Did you bring any stickers back for me?
No, they didn't have any.
As if
What?
Nobody had stickers.
No, I tried. I said, "Have you got any stickers?" And then no one had any stickers. So, and I did search quite heavily for the stickers.
Everyone who is at Insomnia, I'm furious with you all.
They're just a real lack of stickers, to be honest. And I even asked a kid, did he have any?
It's poor to see.
He didn't have any, so I even checked his bag.
It's in today's robot fighting community, it's poor to see there's no stickers
Do
around.
you know what, actually? I'm going to say that there's a real lack of stickers amongst the Robot Wars community at the moment. And
Have you got any stickers?
That's something I intend to remedy. No, I'm going to make some stickers, and I'll be handing stickers out next time. Because it's the way forward. It's good advertising, and every kid and every person really wants a sticker.
Yeah, so that's where you've been. You've not really got any inside the shop for us because you've just been getting ready for Insomnia, I guess.
Although if you look at what's left of Legion now,
you're going to be in the shop for a while.
It's going to be in the shop. It's got a big badness caved in at the front, courtesy even, of Team Carbide.
Bastards.
No!
How could they do that to you?
They were part of getting me a death threat. Not from Carbide.
Okay.
And we won't go into it, but it was, that's what happens at that level of roboteering. People get furious.
Exactly.
And, you can accidentally do something and ends up with badness. But, it's all good. It's all shaking hands at the end. The death threat was revoked.
Good.
So
Glad to hear it.
It doesn't really
It's
count.
really annoying having to get another co-host in, so
I know.
if you could not die, that would be handy.
Yeah, well, there is, there's the perils of roboteering.
Oh, well.
It's a slippery, it's like a fine edge.
It's like the Wild West.
It is like the Wild West, but it's the Wild West on a blade of an edge of a knife, and you can go either way. Are you enjoying that tea? You slurpy bastard. That's it. No one wants to hear your tea drinking. What about American cousins? They don't understand it. Not since Boston. They're scared of tea, like CO2. It reminds me of that. It reminds me every time I have a little drink of tea of all that tax they had to send over. And then they get furious and start hurling it in water. And then it brews down. And Boston Harbour is like really nice Earl Grey flavour now. Bergamot.
Is it still delicious?
Yeah, I had some the other day. You can dip your cup in it.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
You can. No, you try it. It's a tourist thing. Go there. Anyone, go to dip your cup in the harbour and have a little drink. And it always tastes of like warm tea.
If you do it with the Thames, it looks like warm tea.
The Thames is a shitty river. No, I take that back. It's a golden river. Old Father Thames. He's been cleaning up his act recently. He hasn't got so many carcasses and disgusting mud bits and all sorts of rubbish in it.
Someone saw a fish in there the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
A fish.
Good news.
Amazing times.
News. Speaking of good news, the news. But we've got to keep it snappy.
We've got one bit of news which I want you to read out.
This is important news, and it's from Alex of TR2.
Yay!
Who is organising a charity auction to raise money for Cancer Research UK Kids and Teens. And it's going to be like... Don't laugh at me when I say kids and teens.
Why did you sound like Alan Partridge? You should do the whole news like Alan Partridge. Kids and teens. So tell us about the...
It's for Cancer Research UK Kids and Teens.
Yeah.
And it's going to be around 25 auctions, including parts of clothing from at least half of this year's competitors. And one of the items that's going to be on sale is a signed yellow carbide wheel.
So what we got there is a signed yellow carbide wheel. Is there any underpants or anything? You said clothing from the competitors.
No,
nothing like weird like that.
Oh, Gabriel.
Oh, sorry.
Unfortunately not. But I know you've sent in an orange carbide, not carbide. That'd be ridiculous.
That would be
An
ridiculous.
orange Legion shirt.
We got one of my tops, which has not been worn.
Oh, I think you're going to say it's not been washed.
It's definitely washed. I washed the bad chemicals out of it that you always get with T-shirts when they first arrive.
Good stuff.
And I've looked at it, and then all the team has signed it, which is exciting.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a orange top that will be in the auction. I posted that off today, which is nice. A mouldy wheel. Mouldy's pants. Is there any pants?
No
there?
mouldy pants.
Maybe that should be a thing. Maybe, Mouldy, you could sign some of your pants and put them in the auction. I'm sure there'd be someone who'd buy them. Maybe it's not that sort of auction, is it?
Well, I'm going to say again, it's a charity auction for Cancer Research UK kids and teens.
You've got to stop doing that voice now.
And
Go back to
for more information, you see the TR2 Facebook page.
Go back to Noel Fielding now.
What?
That's your default. Go back to Noel Fielding. That's who you normally sound like. You do. You sound like him.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
You do. Whatever. Say poncho.
Poncho.
Say sunshine person.
Sunshine person.
There you go. That's what it is. Right, so that's the news. So it's a charity auction. Alex, we need to know, when is it being held would be a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
like the secret charity auction that no one knows about. Where's it being held?
Yeah, but I think that's a bit of a teaser. Like, if you want to know more, you're going to go and find out, aren't you?
Yeah, but these guys here, our guys, some of them are going to go, I really want an old yellow wheel that's been signed by Mouldy, which is, to me, not something
That's a weird
want.
thing to want, isn't it?
But let's say people do want that.
You can just buy a wheel.
No, because it's not been signed, and it's not on TV wheel. So, but what we want to know is, let us know when the auction is, because we might want to make a purchase. I know you're after the. What are you after?
I'm going to buy your T-shirt.
That's right. So weird. He's going to buy my T-shirt. So,
unless someone bids like more than I think it costs, and then I'll just buy a T-shirt.
It will spendy, but to be fair.
Yeah, I know they are expensive.
They're custom made. Those are custom made by dwarves on a mountain in Peru.
Yeah.
That's the news. It's time. I was going to say that something else there, but that's the wrong strapline for this show.
It's time for what? Go on.
I can't say that.
Go on, say it
It's
anyway.
the wrong one. It's for the other show.
It's time for BattleBots.
It's time. It's robot fighting time.
It's robot warring time.
Greg would get furious for mixing up the genres. So, sorry about that, Greg.
So, Gabe, obviously, it's time to talk about Robot Wars.
Indeed it is.
And who better to join us
Than
Mr. David Moulds?
Mr. Moulds.
Yo, how we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Brilliant. Been pretty busy last few weeks, but yeah, pretty settling down now. It's normality again. You? How are you? How's that beard?
The beard's all right. Yeah, I've been putting your special serum on to make it grow. You sent me.
Did he send you some serum?
Yeah, he sent me a little beard serum.
What was it? What colour was it?
It was kind of clearish.
Purple.
Clear.
No, it's purple, so I want him to look like a full-on troll.
Oh, he's a troll.
Oh, yeah, I want to groom him.
Hey.
Wait, what?
Well, we've already discussed that we're gonna sacrifice the beard later and then send it to you. So you got it as
to
a
weave onto your own.
to
beard.
weave onto your. He hasn't got a beard.
He's got a bit
If
of
this
a beard.
makes the show, you know you've actually got to do that.
Well, of course, but he hasn't got a beard. Have you got a beard, Mouldy?
Me?
Yeah.
Still got some stubble going on.
So yeah, it's like
Yeah, exactly, so you can weave my beard onto his.
Yeah, it's like Miami Vice, though. It's not so much.
Okay. Where did it all begin, Mouldy? All this robot business, eh?
Where did it all go wrong? So, it started off with a magazine came out whilst Robot Wars was still on TV, like years ago.
Right. Go on.
Yeah.
What was it called?
And there was a thing called Real Robots, and in that there was an article called Rex's Robot Challenge, which was built, it was a thing run by Rex Garrard.
Yeah.
And every week they kind of told you how to build a robot step by step. It's like a featherweight size robot.
Oh, okay. So did they send you the parts, or did you have to find them yourself?
No, it's like he kind of said, I'm going to make this robot.
Yeah.
This is the shape I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use windscreen wiper motors from, I think it was like, I ended up getting an Astra and a Cavalier windscreen wiper.
Right, okay.
I don't know how I remember that. Sealed lead acid batteries out of old alarms, sort of from like, you could get them out of an alarm or go to Maplin and pay like £5 for them. And the speed controllers were like servos with like micro switches glued to them and all that kind of like high-tech technology.
So basically, you got this magazine once a week, and then you went out and had to scavenge parts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good way of getting people into it. So yeah, I ended up making my first featherweight. It probably cost me about £20 all in.
Okay.
And then there was like a competition at the end, and a few of the robot builders went to that. I think that's how Jamie from PP3D, I think that's how he started out as well.
Oh, so basically, so you all built robots, and then you went to an actual robot fight with them?
Yeah, I didn't
Awesome.
actually go to the event, but I think there's quite a few people like who are into the hobby now who started at the exact same time, like Stu from the Dan Tom Kia team. That's how he got into it. Like I say, Jamie, that's how he got into it. I got into it the same way. All from just reading this magazine after watching the show and just thinking, oh, I can have a go at that, because it was all easily accessible and something you could do in the shed with like your dad's tools kind of thing.
Nice.
So the robot was made out of just bits of wood and motors from the scrapyard and switches and batteries from Maplins and basic radio gear for like £20 from like a model shop, and it all just came together really.
Nice.
I made loads of mistakes doing that. I learnt a lot. Had a lot of accidents, and eventually got a robot that worked and just worked my way up through that really.
Nice. And were you a goth then?
I had dark hair.
He was a goth. I knew it. I just remember. I just had a picture of Mouldy with like purple clothes and dark hair and looking a bit like a goth.
It was cosmic blue.
So a young goth boy found hope and
a friend
in roboteering. And
I bet you've got a script, haven't you? Of stuff that you can use against me.
No, I haven't.
You've done research.
That's all his notes is for this week. It's just stuff he remembers about Mouldy.
So that's really cool. So so from then on, you built your first featherweight, and then what happened?
So obviously I went to all the events, and then I met Ed Wallace, who actually works at Robot Wars.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, and I used to go to the events with him. He used to give me a lift because obviously I was too young to drive, and then we were like, you know what, let's build a heavyweight together, because I had an attempt at building a heavyweight and it turned out really bad.
Okay. Yeah. What was it?
It was made out of mostly old Tornado parts. Andrew Marchant sold Tornado Mark 1's like drive system.
Yeah.
And I had a load of old school tables that are chopped up and used for the box section.
Right, okay, yeah.
And it was kind of half finished, and it basically just looked like Tornado, and I was like, you know what, I don't want a Tornado. Let's just start again. So yeah, me and Ed started building something, and our first heavyweight took 2 years to build. And it was made out of all stuff that we just found lying around, really. I think the only things we really paid for were like the motors and the Vantec speed controller. The rest was just stuff that we'd been given or found or got cheap through eBay. And
what type of robot was that?
So it was a heavyweight flipper.
Okay.
It's called, it was low pressure pneumatic thing. It was called Turbulence, and we finished that in late 2005. And then we went on to win the UK Heavyweight Championships with that in 2006. We kind of, after it won, we did a few live events, and we started up in the power, and the chassis just wouldn't take it anymore.
Oh, okay.
So we made a fancy version, because Ed started working at a CNC engineering firm. And at the time I was like, well, it's not really for me. Heavyweights were kind of getting to the point where it was just flippers every event, and no one liked taking damage. So it got to the point where it was just us fighting Terahertz and Tiberius, and no one else would. So I kind of lost interest in it, and I started doing the featherweights then, which obviously Full Combat came around with those, because the Robo Challenge guys built the Full Combat arena. Yes. So I kind of just did the featherweight thing for a couple of years, until Robot Wars came back, and BattleBots obviously.
So how did the Team Carbide thing come about?
I met Sam through doing the live events. He used to compete with a heavyweight called Tiberius back when I was fighting with Turbulence. He lost interest with the heavyweight scene the same sort of time that I did, and he moved over to featherweights as well. So Sam used to compete with a featherweight called NST. I had 360, which is a mini hypnodisc, the first brushless spinner. And then I went over to the drum spinners, built 720, 722, and we kind of competed against each other, and we kind of got to the point where we were building the best spinner robots, the most aggressive and feared ones. Then we heard, then obviously I went to BattleBots, and I got onto the beta team, which fortunately didn't make it onto the TV show the first year. And when I was there, I thought, this is cool. I don't want to build a hammer robot. It's not my kind of thing. Obviously John's well settled and he knows what he's doing, and he's very good at that. I thought spinners are more for me. And with the timescales and stuff, I thought it's just not feasible to do it on my own. So I asked Sam if he'd like to be part of the team.
Yeah.
I think we worked quite well together, and our design concepts are very similar. So yeah, we ended up building a Cobalt for BattleBots the following year.
So if you do, and obviously then Carbide for Robot Wars. So what made you decide to build a horizontal when you are a drum boy?
So
He's a
drummer boy.
He's a drum boy.
He loves to drum. See, drums. What made you decide to make a change?
Well, the reason I built 720 was I ran 360, which is obviously a horizontal disc for a number of years. And the Robo Challenge featherweight arena doesn't lend itself well to high-powered horizontal spinners.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they're that uncontrollable. You hit something, you go flying.
Yeah.
In the featherweight arena, you just fly at the arena. It's not controllable. Whereas, so vertical's always, in my opinion, obviously everyone's opinion is different, but vertical's more competitive in that kind of arena.
Okay.
But horizontal blades just give out such a big impact. We thought it's going to be a more effective weapon to use in that arena. Obviously, because there's no real area to fly out with that, and the arena's so big you can get away with it. So that's where we both kind of sat down and we thought, should we make a vertical? Because originally we did consider making like a large version of 720.
So for everyone out there who doesn't know 720, it's a drum spinner. It's a little compact drum spinner, isn't it? And a bit of a violent beast as well.
Yeah. But yeah, we thought horizontal big blade is just cooler, isn't it? So we thought we'd go for that, just make the most destructive thing we can, and that's where eventually Carbide came about.
Interesting.
So next step,
yeah,
you're on to Robot Wars.
Yeah,
I'd say. Well, we got the build process.
Yeah, so that was pretty mad. We had
getting a robot ready for BattleBots and Robot Wars at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. The whole stress came around again because obviously the Robot Wars battles as such are completely different to the BattleBots stuff. In BattleBots, it's one-on-one, big arena, no house robots around to get you, just the hazards and stuff. So you can afford a bit more time to spin up a weapon, so you can put more energy into it and such and such.
Oh, do you
With
think
Robot Wars, it's a lot more close combat.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But we didn't know. Also, we didn't really know what the arena was going to be like. So, did you have any thoughts about how you might deal with?
I kind of thought they're gonna be wanting to do melees to start with, because that's always been like an English thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I thought, so we were like, right, we need something that spins up as fast as it can, and can take the knocks as well as it can. It doesn't hit as hard as the American machine, but it gets there quicker and it's more aggressive. And it can also, because in a melee, you're more likely to get attacked from the side or the back or whatever. So, or the top even. So we just had to beef up the armor to take on, someone coming from behind when you're not expecting it. Which
you need to be protected from behind.
You gotta have a plan for that.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to cover up. If someone comes into your rear, there's bot blood everywhere.
Exactly.
And it's terrible. So, did you like the flame pit?
Yeah.
Just as a thing, did you really think about the flame pit?
That's one good thing about working with Sam is every little detail is considered. So we spent ages trying to think, right, how can we protect against fire? Because we'd never had to do that before.
Yeah.
And we had the Formula One was on at the time, or some racing or something in the background, and I just had a quick thought: what do the drivers wear? Because they're in fires all the time when they have a crash. And had a quick look on eBay and ended up buying some Nomex racing shorts that were used off someone else. And
well, so you bought some used racing
trousers.
Pants. Are they trousers or underpants?
Trousers.
So you bought some.
I think you wear them without underpants, don't you?
What?
Is it not like pyjamas where you wear them without the underpants on?
That's just filthy.
I think it is.
They were clean.
Oh, so you basically chopped up the trousers and wrapped your what in them?
All the wires, all the lipos, everything that was a threat.
Did you? So you've literally wrapped all your wires in fire retardant cloth?
But yeah, well, that's the great thing about Nomex. It's super lightweight material.
Yeah.
Obviously, the drivers don't want to be carrying extra weight, do they?
No.
So yeah, we wrapped that around everything that was flameproof and checked it, held a torch under it, and it was completely flameproof. And we thought, yeah, that'll do it. So just little details like that really made the difference.
That's a great idea. So basically, when you were sitting on the flame pit, you didn't really worry.
No, it's one of those things.
What about heat though from the fire?
Well, that's one of the things. The actual flame pit, although it looks impressive, I don't think the flames are actually that hot. It's not like sitting it under a massive blowtorch.
It's not like it's blue
yellow
flame,
flames, aren't they? They're not going to actually, unless your part's on there for 10 minutes, I don't think it's going to warm the robot up enough to actually damage it that way. It's more like a lick of flame going up through the wheel arch and igniting, like you're padding foam around the lipo or something like that.
Cool. So let's get into Robot Wars. So the first fight we had, obviously, was Group Battle 1.
Okay.
Pulsar, TR2 and Thor.
Yep.
Awesome stuff. But Ellis, bless him, had some troubles.
He just pretty much goes,
Yeah, he kind of... It's not too great.
Do you know what that was? Yeah, he was having problems all the way through, and I think he suffered from it at that point. So that's what. And then we've essentially got TR2 and Thor going through on that one.
Yeah, I mean Pulsar took a beating basically,
it was just getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
And we're actually going to hear from Ellis.
Ah, sweet. Okay.
For the first of our, we've heard a bit from Mouldy.
Now I'm going to say I get that Ellis sounds like he's in a soup can.
But here he is. If you don't want him, fast forward 3 minutes.
Go.
You had issues going into the final.
Yeah.
What were your hopes for the final? Did you think you could get far, or were you kind of just you wanted to appear in the final and just?
Well, I mean, obviously, we made it a lot further than we ever kind of expected to make it, especially considering the fact that we were so close to not being finished at all. So eventually getting all the way through to the final was just, all of that was bonus time as far as I was concerned. But no, in terms of prep before the actual fight, as you saw on the show, rather embarrassingly, it was getting pretty desperate. I knew that it was shock related, and they unfortunately. They chose the bit of film where I'm tapping it with a hammer, and it's like that. They made quite a big deal out of that. And it's understandable because it's hilarious, but so we were literally just kind of desperate, trying to find where the fault was in the machine. And the problem was we never really had any way to troubleshoot, because the only times it had ever gone wrong was in the actual arena, having received a shot, and you can't replicate that situation without being in a fight.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
We were basically fighting blind the entire time. So we never really knew if it was going to be fixed or not.
Yeah, how do you feel about your overall performance on Robot Wars this year?
Definitely overall, absolutely awesome experience, and I'm really pleased I was able to be involved and managed to get some good time on the TV. But on the other hand, I'm really looking forward to kind of a bit of redemption for Series 2, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you feel going into Season 2 as a roboteer, and you've tested yourself against kind of your peers now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty confident in the sense that, I mean, we've identified all the issues now, having the time and being able to get away from it for a bit, because obviously at Robot Wars and for the entire build time, your brain is just completely engaged in all things robot, and so it's kind of difficult to get a sense of perspective and have some fresh ideas about what could be going wrong. You end up kind of looking a bit too closely. So we now know all of the issues, electrical issues that the robot had, and have identified them. So, and from a mechanical standpoint, the robot had very little to no issues. I had, ignoring kind of externally caused damage, from a self-caused damage point of view, I think there was just one issue with one of the drive gearboxes at one point, and other than that, it was completely solid. So I'm quite confident going into Series 2 that I can put something together that's going to be a lot more reliable and will hopefully kind of live up to the hype that Pulsar had kind of before this series.
Yep, he definitely sounds like he's in a mask, in a suit, buried in a car, in the boot.
No, but we'll move on.
Next fight.
We had Group Battle 2.
And let's hear from Mouldy about this one.
The three-way.
We love a three-way.
Love a three-way.
How do you...
Do we?
No. Well, we've got a three-way going on here.
Yeah.
Are you loving it?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
pretty good.
How do you feel about a three-way?
I quite like it. Yeah.
Do you not ever fear that someone's going to come...
It was weird because the four ways, it always kind of breaks off into two one-on-ones.
Yeah, exactly.
It just naturally happens. With a three-way, you really don't know what's going to happen.
And if you're stuck
in the
out on the
finals.
side in a three-way, you always want to get stuck in.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
If you're out on the side and you're looking at
it's just
two,
so filthy, this conversation. I
You're
keep
looking
having
at-
a different thing in my mind.
you're looking at two going at it.
Yeah.
As a third kind
Part.
of viewer, and then you feel like, well, if the judges are looking at this, I've got to get involved as well.
So
Yeah, you don't want to look left out.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I got
Yeah.
you now. Yeah. So
In a three-way, you never want to be left out.
No.
no.
You don't want to just be looking at the other two thinking, well, what should I be doing here?
How can I
Exactly.
get in there? What can I do? What
Yeah.
angle of attack? So now,
How
did
can
you?
I get busy?
How did you?
Are you okay, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just
You just look a bit
I got a
unbothered.
really different
Is he
picture
a bit
in my
peachy?
mind, and I can't get it out of my mind now.
So Mouldy's looking at Will and at Dave going at it.
They're not though, are they?
yeah,
Who
they
goes
are.
at it first?
Let's just
I don't
say
know,
a
like-
hypothetical situation. Dave and Will are really going at it, and Mouldy's watching, and he really feels he has to get in.
Who's
because
Dave?
Young.
Oh,
Dave Young.
Dave Young.
Why is everyone called bloody Dave? It's so
I know,
annoying.
but Mouldy's called Mouldy, so
He's
it's
not.
okay.
So Dave Young and
And Will Thomas
oh sorry, and
in
Will
this
Thomas.
in this three-way, they're going at it really hard.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're Mouldy watching, you really feel like you have to get stuck in.
He's getting a bit nervous and he thinks
Yeah.
I've got to show some.
Maybe I'll come in from behind on someone, or maybe I'll just go in right in between them, see what I can do.
The first few seconds were kind of awkward because I span up and they
It
both
was hard.
kind of looked at me.
It is awkward at first. in
Oh,
the
I see.
three-way, yeah.
No, let's do it properly. So basically, you're all in the same pod as well, aren't you?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
So basically, you spin up, the other two go shit.
Yeah.
Right, who's going to go and drive into him?
I think the thing with that is because they both had weak back ends, they had to plough their fronts into me.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. So basically, because they've got weak back ends, they need to really
Yeah.
work on their squats. They need to. They feared that badness. So, but I would have thought that they would gang up on you,
Yeah.
but they didn't at all, did they?
No, it was very, yeah.
I think Shockwave tried to ram him early.
Yeah,
He tried to get in
Apollo
early,
kinda-
but I think he kind of missed it.
he missed-
Apollo kind of held back for a second to see what was going on with us. And by the time the arena wall came down,
Yeah.
Apollo was just like, oh, what do I do here? Me and Will were still going at it furiously.
I mean, Will had he rammed you up against the wall.
Yeah.
And then you broke the wall, obviously, but
Yeah, I was really impressed with Shockwave, actually. It was a powerful little thing.
you just managed to clip his back end.
Yeah, that's the weird thing as well. From the driver's pod, we thought the robots weren't actually that damaged.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Did you? You thought they were all
It
right?
didn't look that bad on TV either.
Yeah,
Until you
like-
actually saw the close-up and the
Yeah,
wheels
when you're in
hanging
the
off.
pod, you can see a spark come off, and you think, oh, it's clipped it, but you haven't got any idea what it's actually done to it.
I mean,
Obviously
you've totally destroyed that back end, that wheel, haven't you? I mean, ripped it out. There's nothing.
Yeah.
That's like. I'm not sure how people can respond to carbide because when it's so destructive. I know. I'm thinking as a roboteer, I'm thinking as well as how do you actually respond to it? I mean,
Yeah.
are we going to see a plethora of bricks and wedges, which
It's got to be wedgy and bricky, hasn't it?
well, they're crap, aren't they?
Yeah.
But how do you respond to carbide? That's my question.
You get in
Well-
early. You have a really fast robot with a wedge on the front or back, and you ram that into him early, and then you keep
Yeah.
on him.
Well, if you watch the Behemoth fight with us, we were working really well in our first head-to-head up until their bucket came off. But
Yeah.
he nearly had us at a couple of points.
He did, but
Behemoth's very fast, very powerful. The front end's very strong.
we were watching that. And
Yeah.
when you think they nearly had us, we were all going, it's just 1, 2, and we're saying, how many hits is it going to take? Oh no, he's opened up, and then you ripped the bottom out of his bucket. I mean, literally tore just as soon as carbide hits it, when it properly hits it, just. That bar seems to just go through robots, like through all the metal, and keeps on going. It's so destructive. I'm surprised you didn't win, but it's something that we need to think about, and I think people need to be challenged to say, how do you respond to a robot with such violence?
You build terahertz.
Exactly.
I would like to see that fight again because I'm not sure that were you guys spinning up properly.
Yeah,
you were?
it was working fine.
John was
It
on him just all the time.
Okay, he was all.
Johnny's a very good driver, and the front of Terahertz is very solid. He did do very, very well. The problem with that fight is on the lead up to our tech check before the actual event, we had rubber mountings for the polycarbonate top armour.
Yeah.
And that put us just overweight. I think we were like 600 grams overweight. The scales that we weighed it on at home were obviously a lot kinder than the ones at Robot Wars.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were under.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had to do a last-minute fix to try and get it underweight. We had to remove all those bungs, the rubber bungs, which put us over, and we had to replace it with some chunks of polycarb that we made at the filming.
Oh, I see.
So it was a last-minute fix, and it put the ground clearance on the top just a bit too high. We didn't have time to check it. Ran perfectly smooth upside down, which we measured it, and it looked like it'd all be fine, and it was okay-ish.
There's a thing there.
Yeah.
Why do you... Obviously, in one of the fights, you keep driving over the floor flipper to get flipped back over.
Yeah.
But why? Why do you want carbide? Because it's designed to run both ways up. But what's your thinking about being the right way up? Apparently.
Well, if we're the right way up, we can use the wedge more efficiently. And once the weapon's gone, that's the only really offense that we have. We thought maybe. Well, I was thinking if I can use the wedge against them, at least I can potentially push them into the pit or into a house robot zone or something.
Because I guess the long way up, the wedge is working against you if you hit someone.
I'm charging into them the best I can, and it just goes straight up them. It's just, it's completely pointless even having it. That's why we were trying to just go over to the floor flipper just to give us a bit of an advantage. Yeah, unfortunately on the show it looked like I wasn't doing that intentionally. That was the idea behind it.
From my point of view, there was definitely a plan of why you kept on driving over the floor.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really explained. I guess you have to, I don't know, not be an idiot like us, Gabe.
Well, no, I knew what he was doing.
No, yeah, you knew it was on purpose, and Lucy said at the end it was on purpose.
Yeah.
But it wasn't explained why he was doing it.
No.
So
Yeah.
we couldn't reach Will for a comment.
No.
Unfortunately, but amazing job on the final.
Definitely.
Hopefully we'll catch up with him at some point. And, unlucky this year, but hopefully you come back with something bigger and better.
Yes, indeed. Let's do Thor. Let's do the Thor fight, because that's really for me.
Do we have to? It's really mean.
Oh, I love it. I love
Poor
Robert
Soapy
Scott.
Jason.
Soapy Jason. So obviously, Thor is, now you talked about getting an edge, Thor is ideal for being slain, because he's all square, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's boxy.
He's boxy. So how did you feel about going into this fight?
We were actually a bit concerned about that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, we saw that axe head on it. We know Thor's a really fast robot.
Yeah.
So the Thor fight was, to be honest, that was personally the best fight we had at Robot Wars. Because I was worried about that. That extra axe and the extra plate that Thor put on could have given the edge. Because there's always a chance with a pointy axe like that. If that goes through the top polycarbonate section, it could obviously go straight through our bar, and the bar could push it through the orange chassis, and it would make a right mess. So yeah, he could have potentially had it. That front plate as well was pretty solid. And Thor's a really fast and aggressive robot, and Jason's quite a good driver with it. So yeah, going into that was probably the most nerve-wracking fight that we had.
Oh, really? Was that was really... Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was probably, and that was my favourite fight of the whole thing.
So you're looking at that plate that he's put on, which is obviously a lovely solid bit of metal, but you can see the actual thickness of the metal is negated by the fact that it's going to get the edge of it, and you can just rip it off because it wasn't curled round. Yeah,
but at the same time, if Jason's driving was absolutely spot on, he could have used it to his complete advantage. And the first hit or so, it did work really well for him. And it did. It took a good 5 or 6 blows at full power before it actually stopped. And fair play to Jace, he took the hits. He probably stood up better than any other robot that we went against, really. From a point of view of taking full impacts on hits, I think he's probably one of the strongest robots that were there.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, I mean, Apollo did well.
Most of the hits kind of glanced off.
Yeah. The one time it took a full-on hit would be in its fight where it lost against you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So.
And Thor really took some full impacts, and he just kept going. I was really impressed by that.
Jason, what a guy.
Soapy Jason.
Poor Jason.
Poor Jason.
He got wrecked.
He did.
So here he is.
How confident were you heading into the final? I mean, obviously, like the wild card thing, were you expecting that? And then how did you feel going into the final?
I didn't know there was actually a wild card until until about 4 people had been by and went, "Well done, I think you'll get through." And I'm looking, I'm like, what's it? How's that work? Come out, And then somebody actually came up to me and said, I can't remember who it was, and I said, I think you'll get the wild card. I went, what's going on? So then the penny finally dropped in the fight with what I went out in against Shockwave. We lost the speed controller, so Noel Sharkey came over to me and said, "Is it running again?" And I got it running again. Once we knew this wildcard thing was an option, so I thought, well, I better get it going. Worked on it for a few hours and got the speed controller in it. It was a bit of a shock because there's some good machines there that could have gone in.
Yeah. I think you did best in your heat, though, definitely. Of the other heat finalists, heat runners up, even.
It seemed because Thor was doing so well. I say Thor, me and Thor, I guess, were doing so well.
Team Thor.
Yeah, and we was battering the opposition, and we were top of the league and got maximum points. I think, if I remember rightly, we was flying high and looked like we was good, and and then it all just sort of crashed down around our ears. So
it's so easy in like fighting robots for that to happen if you just think something goes wrong.
Yeah, so it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but hey, we've all gone through it, and it certainly won't be the last time it happens.
Yeah. Speaking of frustrating, did you feel like, so you've got into the heats, the final even. How did you feel like going up against Carbide and then having to kind of rebuild every time you went up against someone?
Yeah, you know what? When we all went into the arena for the draw, which they didn't show on telly, and they pulled all the names out of an ammunition can. So it was all fair and above board.
Yeah.
And I think it was Alex turned around to me, Alex TR2 turned around to me and said, who do you want to go up against first? And I went, I'll have a go at Carbide. Let me just get it out of the way. And I really, I really regret actually opening my mouth saying that.
Yeah, I bet.
Because it looked, obviously, I got Carbide first and my first fight, and I think it wore out his clutch and his motor and everything. So by the time he got to the end of it all, he wasn't running as well. So he wore himself out on me.
I mean, he destroyed that plate of yours.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it, on the old slow motion going through that?
Good,
yeah.
So you didn't have the best luck of the draw in the final, but how do you kind of assess your performance in Robot Wars?
I would assess it as I got a bit of luck. I was lucky that I think the TR2 Pulsar fight in the 3-way melee, Pulsar obviously broke down, so I was lucky to get through there. Yeah.
But do you think fourth is fair, or?
I think I've done very well. Yeah, I'm very pleased with fourth. Yeah, very happy with fourth.
So going forward, I mean, you've obviously thought in its current guise is no more, and you've moved on.
Yeah.
Any clues about what sort of changes you've made, or is that all under wraps for now?
It's not top secret, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's I'm currently trying out some different speed controllers, and we'll be testing those at Colchester in about 3 weeks' time to see how they go. But as for the overall design of the machine, what powers the hammer is essentially the same. So it'll be the same power. I've reversed the cylinder inside, so it's now at the back rather than at the front.
Okay.
And the reasoning for that was I can now lower the whole height of the machine. So it's not a squashed Thor now. It's a lower profile, which allows me to get a lower profile front end to get under other machines. It's also saved me weight.
Yeah.
So I've also narrowed the machine a little. It's the same length as it ever was, and it's now rear-wheel drive, wheels right at the back.
Oh, okay.
No longer mid-wheel drive. I say it's rear-wheel drive. That may change after testing, because I'm quite a stickler for having a lot of control and a lot of drive. So if it doesn't work well, I will move the wheels around a bit. So it's, at the minute it's in test format. So there's no paint on it or anything like that. I'll be putting it all a build diary on the Thor Robot Facebook page.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Awesome to hear from Jason.
Yeah, amazing.
And the next fight, TR2 and Apollo.
Oh, this is two big flippers going against each other. I mean, this is classic live event stuff here. Did we hear from Alex?
Yeah, we got a little bit from Alex, and here it is now.
So I'm joined by Alex. How did you feel going into the final, Alex?
Starting the final, Pulsar and Thor, brilliant robots, brilliant drivers, both of them. Yeah. Pulsar had been having some problems, so we're quite lucky in that sense because Pulsar is a good design. When he refines that and gets that working, that's going to be a brilliant machine.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it was kind of continuing on the confident but not cocky.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Talking about your like finals performances, what do you think kind of not let you down, but kind of just meant you didn't quite have the edge?
The problem we had after the Pulsar and 4 fight was Pulsar bent up the front end, and when it did that, it twisted the flipper arm. It doesn't look that bad a hit, but the damage it caused was substantial. That probably cost us being so far behind in the Apollo fight. Because out there, we had to weld on a new front end. It was only mild steel, so every time that was get hit, it was bending, chipping away. I couldn't go front end on with Apollo. I was always having to drive around it, and that's why he did get some big flips on us.
Yeah, I mean, his driving looked good, but also...
Yeah, Dave's a very good driver.
Yeah. How do you feel you did in Robot Wars overall?
3rd place is not too bad, I suppose. I would have liked to have gone one step further, definitely. To be in the final 2 would have been much nicer. There's the pictures afterwards where we got of Apollo and Carbide in the final.
Yeah.
And it took me ages to look at them because it was so painful. I was 1 point away, 3 seconds for being in that final fight. Yeah, because when Carbide was stacked on the wall, it was 7 seconds. 3 seconds away from the final.
Those small things that...
You've got to have luck on your side to win.
Yeah, it takes a little bit, doesn't it? So what do you do for the next series and basically the future? We
have got a few plans, so more of a way to help us win a fight more than aesthetics-wise and get on the show.
That extra bit of something you need to help you win a tournament rather than place highly in a tournament.
Yeah, because this is the first time we've fought heavyweight spinners, and from that experience we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
We learn design features, what we need to continue if we get hit by spinners and things like that.
So it's mainly you'll be adjusting for big hitters?
You could say that way.
Okay, cool.
But more spinners in general.
Yeah. How about flipper power?
Flipper power, I don't think there's much you can do with the coldness.
Yeah.
Since Robot Wars, we've put a couple of new valves on, and that seems to have helped a bit.
Okay.
So we'll see how that works in the future, but since Robot Wars filming, it has been working better.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers, dude.
Thank you.
So bad luck, Alex, on that fight, and ultimately that's if you lose against one of the big hitters, the big ones like Apollo, that might be the end of your competition.
Possibly, but he's still got a lot to offer there at this point.
Yeah, definitely. So Apollo and Carbide was the next one.
Now I want to go for this is a great thing, and I think it was coined by the dude with the red hair from BB a long time ago. It's called the late
hit.
I don't agree with the late hit like that. So you're that dude from Lockjaw, dude. Now I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter.
Am I that dude, or is someone else that dude?
You're that dude. But I'm going to say here, people are saying it's a late hit, but it totally wasn't a late hit because the fight was still going. Do you agree?
Yeah. We hadn't been told it was stopped or whatever else, and yeah, so the fight hadn't finished, and like the Apollo guy said at the end of the fight, don't worry about it. It's a show. He's got to make a show. And then if you look back at like old series of Robot Wars and like Hypnodisc, for example, when a robot was dead, it got smashed, Yeah,
it did, didn't it? So even when robots were you could see they weren't managing to go anymore.
It's a bit tough though, Gabe.
It's
because
the Robot Wars.
Yes, but if it's in a knockout format, then that's fine because they're going home anyway.
No, but
but in a group.
Yeah, so you want them dead, then they can't come back, can they?
Now I agree with Moldy. I reckon just trash the thing. I don't see why you stopped. But
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
But,
I agree. You just went words in Moldy.
I agree with Moldy, and then I added more. I'd have gone further than Moldy did. But in a group situation, it's a bit weird. There's a bit of weirdness.
There is a tentativeness from you, Molds, where you look like you're gonna hit them, and then you're not, and then you do. So what was your thoughts at that point?
Keep them guessing.
Keep them guessing, okay.
No,
you got excited.
It was kind of, in the driver's pod, it made me look like the bad person.
But no...
It was Sam screaming at me to hit him again.
Was it? Sam, was it? So Sam Smith was baying for bot blood.
We were both of the same opinion.
I agree, and I think have we gone the wrong route with Robot Wars? Maybe in that let's save him. Like, let's not have too much gratuitous violence. When Robot Wars is about that.
If you compare it to like other shows, like the previous series and stuff, it was always about the carnage. And now it's about the sportsmanship in a way.
So
I don't know.
Have we lost
we
something?
didn't know at the time which way they were going to go with it because we hadn't seen like the cut edited version of it. So we didn't know if they wanted more damage or more sportsmanship or
I think they
whatever
want
else.
damage.
But yeah, probably for next time I probably wouldn't go out as full out, but it's still, I don't know. I know where the criticisms have come from, but at the same time, it was cool.
You are in danger of being up for robot war crimes, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to vouch for him, to be honest, because I think that it was. If he could have destroyed Apollo now when it was dead, then he wouldn't have had to fight it in the final.
I know, it would have been perfect.
Would have been great. Then it would have won. Obviously, that was. People love to make it a bit controversial, and I don't think it was controversial at all. In fact, I thought it was super tame, really. Especially after we've just been featherweight fighting, where they come out in a bag.
Yeah.
So it's
We're
not
on fire.
I think Robot Wars needs to probably find its bit more aggressive streak. I'm gonna.
I don't know. I think it was kind of about the right balance.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I think if they feel you're going too far, they should call cease. You should continue up until that point to just destroy them.
So there's the ruling. You continue till they say cease.
And if you continue afterwards, then you're a bit of a dick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
with that.
definitely. If it says cease and you do it, you're a dick.
Yeah, that's right.
But then the bonus of knocking them out is you get 10 seconds to destroy them in.
Oh yeah. If you get to be a dick, do they just give you a dildo? As a trophy?
It's basically the Robot Wars trophy, but without the it's a dildo.
Just a dick on it. There you go. You're a dick.
Then we had Thor and TR2, and a lot riding on this one because these guys, at this point, neither of them with a point.
Oh, okay. So everything riding on this for TR2 or Thor.
And Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, TR2 though, a masterclass, shepherding Thor into the CPZ the whole time.
He was all over him, wasn't he?
Like a rash.
Yeah.
And Matilda was furious.
She was.
With Thor.
She was.
So I wrote on Twitter.
Oh, go on then.
I wrote on Twitter, I think Matilda and Thor went on a date and Thor never called her back.
Oh, really? That's probably what it was.
People like that on Twitter.
So, did they?
Yeah, it went down well.
Nice.
I was live tweeting during the final.
Nice.
Loved it, because I was on my own, actually, Gabe.
Weird, I don't know why. It's not my call.
Yeah, I think you were busy.
Doing something.
Yeah, I didn't get an invite to the party there.
Don't get so bitter. You got to build a robot. We know that.
I'm just a bit salty.
You got to build a robot.
Yeah, Thor got dumped out of the arena.
Oh yes, indeed. Oh, that was amazing, wasn't it? Yes, that's why she was so salty.
She's got some zesty tusks on her.
She has got some zesty tusks. Oh. That was a good fight. I might watch that again actually, because that was a really
that was an awesome fight. So then we had, after that, was TR2 and Carbide, and I would have thought Carbide would have just minced TR2.
But he wasn't, was he?
It was taking lumps off him at the start.
I know.
And then old Mouldy, his weapon stopped working.
That's his problem. He goes off too early, he stops working, he has to do a pushy aroundy then. But imagine if you're TR2 and you're going, I'm getting damaged, hang on a second. He doesn't work anymore. I've got some time, I'm coming back. Which is amazing.
He pushes around and dominates Carbide. He just, he's up against the wall, he's in the CPZ. And this is what Alex does that well, driving someone. He shepherds them into all the wrong places.
He does. But remember, he's driven a pusher robot for a long time. So he knows all about dominating and pushing people about and getting them in the right place. So that's his skill.
It's awesome driving from Alex there. And
Sweet.
Don't forget about that auction he's holding.
Yeah, he's got
where
his
you
auction.
can win Roboteer's old socks and a yellow wheel that's been signed and pants and
some other things. Vests.
Ian Lewis's camouflage trousers are in there.
Are they?
Yeah, definitely.
No,
go and have a look. The pants, I've put some of my pants on there.
Nice.
Oxfam wouldn't take them, so I just
Fair enough.
Emailed
Let's
Alex.
get rid of we're going on the weird path.
And then Thor against Apollo.
Okay.
Fighting for Alex's chances to stay in the competition,
Oh, do you know
weirdly
what?
enough.
I love this one here because if Thor wins, they lose, but Alex wins.
Mm-hmm.
And if Apollo wins, then Apollo goes through and wins.
I'm just going to say before this fight, Thor was fucked.
Oh, swearing. But yes, I don't think there's anything left of Thor at this point. I don't think he's got anything left.
It's not going to happen, is it?
He's got a weird box on the back which is covering up the gas tank.
Yeah, that's weird.
But he's put on because it's all been destroyed. And
I was at the show.
Yeah.
And a bit of the arena was apparently used to fix Thor.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. A bit of the arena is bits of everybody's robots are basically on Thor at this point.
Oh, okay. So everyone's added bits of robots.
Yeah. I don't think enough was made of like the effort to rebuild Thor every time.
No.
Because he'd go away and he'd basically get a wheelbarrow and brush up the bits off the floor and put them in it and then take it off. And then he'd come back with a robot and we'd just be like, how's he done that?
So there's an amazing amount of effort going into building Thor there.
And this was all in one day.
Yeah, yes,
So
it was.
it's not like this happened over like a week later. He comes back and does this. This is all over one day, and it was just craziness.
And I guess that's the problem with the head-to-heads in that you just don't get enough time, maybe, especially at this late stage. You're having to really cobble together your robot. Anyway, so now obviously Thor doesn't have. It's just lost it. It's just tired, and it gets slain.
It was a dominant victory from Apollo there.
Stopped and it's upside down. Apollo
is just getting touched all over the place.
But this is what I do like about the points. I'm not talking. This is what I do like about the point system in that it does actually have this bit where another team could go through, where they're fighting for.
It's a weirdness, though. I know a weirdness.
You're adding the points up, going, do we have enough if this person does that, and if this person does that, then we'll get here. So I do like that.
But it's different, and I like that it's different from. The usual just round of 32 goes to 0.
Yeah, exactly. You do get more fights, which is good.
Goes to 1 in the end, not 0. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Nobody wins in the end.
Just everyone goes home and everyone's happy.
Oh, that was a good tournament.
And there wasn't too much violence.
Who won? The tournament holders didn't have to pay out any prize money.
Does it matter? Perfect. I don't think there is any prize money, to be honest.
BBC, so maybe like book token or something?
You may get a book token or go on Blue Peter. That's what it is. You
definitely get on Blue Peter.
You get on Blue Peter.
You get the badge as well.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. I don't think people need any more.
Golden badge or just the regular?
Oh, don't be stupid. A normal Blue Peter badge.
But they do have a golden one.
Yeah, but that's for celebs, not for normal.
He would be a celeb now if you find Robot Wars.
Not properly. No, I'm not interested in that.
What are you saying?
No, you have to work your way up to a gold one. There's a lot. You don't want everybody having one.
That's
do
true.
You?
2-time Robot Wars champion.
That would be fine. 2-time world champion. You can have one between the team.
Between the team.
We don't want everyone getting free entry into
That's not enough.
different theme parks.
Is that what a gold one does?
I think a normal Blue Peter badge gets you free entry into loads of areas, like an accessible areas. You can show it at an Aerosmith concert. Sorry about that. If you're at an Aerosmith concert, you can show your Blue Peter badge, and they'll go, look at that, man. It's got, go through to green room.
Yeah, here's your cocaine.
No. You only get that one if you're a gold badge holder.
Oh, that's if you're a presenter.
Yeah. That's tarring a lot of brushes. So you get it, and you get a Blue Peter badge. It gives you access to Aerosmith concerts and other concerts. I don't know which other ones you want to go to, but Aerosmith.
The proms.
No.
Aerosmith and the proms.
Aerosmith and possibly the proms.
If you're in a club and you show it to a lady.
Then I was going to say something else there. If you're in a club and you showed a lady your Blue Peter badge, she would buy you a drink.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. If you have a golden one, what we should do?
Don't go there. Oh dear, it's not that sort of club. There's a different. You take your gold badge to a different type of club altogether.
Oh, okay. Strip club?
No, it's a different club.
Oh, okay.
A bit more.
Good.
Let's leave this weird club talk.
No, I'm just gonna.
Can we finish?
I suppose there's only really one more fight to talk about.
The final.
That would be the final, yes. It was Carbide and Apollo.
But the only way to watch this fight is with your chums, like we said before. So,
you're a dick.
Do you know what I'd like to do? Is talk about the final with Mouldy.
Okay.
Mouldy. Oh, Mouldy. Here he's coming now. Here, boy. Yeah, here he is. Don't lick me, buddy. Right, let's hear from him.
Why are your trousers down?
Talk us through the final.
So, yeah, the final was quite tense, actually. From the driver's point of view, me and Dave, we were both absolutely knackered. Obviously, we'd been working, but all the teams, me and Sam, Dave, the other two lads that were with him, we'd been working up until that point solidly to get the robots ready for the thing. Yeah, it was really tense. Obviously, all the crew and everything were all around us saying good luck to both of us, kind of thing. And yeah, it was a really great atmosphere outside of the actual fighting. And then we got into it. Couldn't remember it at all after it happened. I remember standing waiting to find out who'd won, and we were like, we think you won, but I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty confident afterwards that Apollo had got it, and to be fair, they did win it fair and square. We were quite happy with that, and it's a great robot. Can't knock it really. Yeah, it was interesting. It's a shame that the weapon packed up and Apollo ran out of gas. It would have been good to go a bit longer. But yeah, it was a great fight. I think it was for a final. It was absolutely perfect. You could see both robots were absolutely dead at the end of it.
Definitely.
And neither of them had packed up as such towards the end. They're both still going.
Yeah.
Both had problems. Like they said on the show, it was like two boxers just slugging it out until one of them passed out. It was perfect for a final in our point of view.
I'm going to just say the best way to watch a final is with all your mates who were at Robot Wars with you, because that was a really cool thing.
That was really cool, yeah. It was great.
It would have been nice to be invited to that.
It's Roboteers only.
Well, you would if Gabe had been nice, he could have taken you.
Exactly.
And you could have got in no
if he'd been nice, it would have been fine, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It was, yeah. I was expecting to see you there, and I was disappointed that you weren't.
I was sat there just stroking my beard. You know, you could have been stroking that beard, Mouldy.
Exactly.
He's robbed you of that.
I actually said to Gabe at the time, "Where's Will?" And he said, "Oh yeah, he didn't want to come." He said, "Oh really? He's not really."
He's throwing me under the bus.
Gabe was just like, "Oh, he doesn't even like robots."
Yeah, he thinks they're shit.
He just does this because I get paid, and that was it really.
So next time,
I'd like to point out I don't get paid for this.
You don't get paid for this.
I do it for love.
He does it because he loves bots.
I love the bots.
So you should have come to the finals party, really.
You didn't get my invite.
There was a lot of people there. Anyway, so that was a great...
What are you saying? I'm not allowed to be around other people?
No, you get all funny.
He did actually say that as well.
You kept in a jar.
He said cage.
In a little cage, yeah.
I'm only allowed to communicate with people via Skype.
Exactly, otherwise you get too excited and rub yourself.
Get fed fish heads and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly, fed fish heads. He just gets He gets fish heads and old toast.
I'm furious with the both of you.
So anyway, what an amazing final, and that was it was such a great fight. Even though we did, obviously the robots were a bit slain at the end. I think definitely there was a lot of excitement all the way through that. So here's the question: what improvements are you going to make?
Oh,
he's going to build a flipper.
Don't give us anything. He's going to build a flipper. Yeah. No. Are we going to see a different? What's that?
I specifically will tell everyone, apart from you.
No, not for me. But just give us some idea of what you're doing for people out there.
Yeah, Gabe needs to know if he gets through the four-way battle, what he's got to do to improve his robot.
On its wheels.
I've got a totem now. You know that it's going to happen.
That little sticker is not going to help you when your robot sucks.
What?
Yeah.
It's my robot sucks.
What are you going to say to that, Gabe?
I'm gonna beat his butt with it.
Well, you're going to beat his
robot's butt.
Okay.
We'll see. I've got to win a televised fight. It's not about me though. So for everyone, what sort of things are you gonna? What are you thinking about doing? What improvements do you think you should? I don't want to give away any secrets, but what are you working on?
So mainly, the first thing is obviously you're going to work on the reliability. We're actually looking at making our own drive motor now for the weapon, so we can potentially spin it with a bit more power behind it, a bit faster, make it more aggressive, and more reliable. So everything that broke during filming, that'll be fixed.
Are you telling me you're going to make your own motor and it's going to be more reliable?
Yep.
Gabe, thoughts?
Muldy's got powerful skills. If he says he's going to make his own motor, then that's, you know what, with him and Sam Smith, between the two of them, they can definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's
was that
hopefully
the
it'll be worth
least
it.
reliable part of your robot then, the motor?
It was one of the main problems, yeah. So the motor was a big issue, and then towards the end of the actual filming, during the grand final, and the fight with TR2. It was the actual clutch that failed.
So, are you going to do anything about that?
Yeah, we've looked into it, and there's things we can do.
Okay.
We've had a chat with a few of the American teams, and we've said, how do you do it? Because they've got a lot more experience with spinners than we have.
Oh, of course.
So Ray from the Tombstone team, he's been a big hand. We had a look at when we were over in BattleBots. We had a look
of it.
Measuring it. And,
yeah. Well, we got Ray to come and have a look at our setup, and he was like, "Yeah, it's really good. Have a look at this kind of thing," and we swapped ideas, and yeah, it was really helpful.
That's exciting. So we should see a carbide that has an improved weapon drive, which is, to be honest, scary as crap. Because when you say it's going to be more powerful, that's going to be, there's got to be a bigger response again from people. We're going to need some people out there, some builders out there, to really think about who they're going to fight and not just become the fodder.
It's like we had Thermidor 2 on. He hadn't even heard of Hardox. So it's, everyone's going to be up in their game.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't have to turn up to win. That's the great thing about Robot Wars. Like, obviously, there are machines out there that are stupidly powerful, or people have spent stupid amounts of money on, or whatever else. But the core of it is still about people turning up and having fun and having a laugh. If people can build a robot in the shed for a couple of £100, that's the whole point of Robot Wars, to turn up and have fun.
I agree.
It's just shame that some people turn up and just ruin it for everyone else, isn't it?
Yeah,
their massive spinners or their ridiculous flippers.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, carbide didn't cost us loads of money.
Carbide was built on a budget, wasn't it?
Yeah, like most of the parts in there were second hand. The materials, they're not expensive. Our sponsors helped us out. The response we had off different companies, just ringing them up saying, "Hey, we're building a robot for Robot Wars." They'd never heard of us before. The amount of people out there that help you out. Since we've had companies tweeting us saying, "Is there any way we can help out?" and stuff, like laser cutting companies and other such companies.
So actually, it was pretty good. And then you used your machining skills, which obviously are, you just happen to have those because
But then obviously we machine certain parts, so we machine like a lot of the components, but some of the more detailed components, we just approached an engineering firm. We gave them a design. They said, "Are you interested in helping us out?" And they said, "Yeah, sure."
Sweet.
But they were just so chuffed to be part of, contributing to the team, and saying they built something that went on to Robot Wars, or components of something that went on to Robot Wars. Companies like that are more than happy to offer their time. So yeah, as a actual machine, Carbide is actually probably one of the cheapest ones out there.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So we get to the end now, Bud, and you get to do a shout out for your people who helped you. So
all your peeps,
go for it.
The Wranglebox didn't help us at all. Yeah. So John Moore, Wear Parts UK, they helped us out. They donated materials and plasma cutting. They machined the actual weapon bars for us. For both machines, actually, for Cobalt and for Carbide. The facilities there are ridiculous, and the amount of material they've got, just sat on the shelf, they can bend up to 30mm thick Hardox, which is just ridiculous.
Cool. Who else have you got?
Brilliant company.
Hardcore benders.
Yeah.
Who else have you got?
Edmar Engineering. It's a CNC company based in the Midlands. They helped us out with machining some of the components, and they're helping us out with parts for next year as well.
Excellent.
SSC Laser in Derby. They did a lot of our laser cutting for us, and Robo Challenge, who did some welding and some other services for us.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Okay, bud. That's cool.
Cool stuff, Mr. Moulds.
Thank you very much for your time, sir, and I'll give you a shout soon.
Cool. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you.
That was a great final, wasn't it?
It was an awesome final.
It was a great way to finish it.
But it's not the end.
Why not?
We got some questions.
Oh, questions. Awesome. Let's do the questions.
We had a question from a guy called Jonathan, who wants to know, they say they only have 2 hours between rounds, but I'm rewatching and people got absolutely destroyed, basically. How much time did you really have between fights?
Is that for me?
I guess for anyone who's done more than one fight on...
No, obviously.
Oh, no. Gabe, this is the one time we needed your expert advice, and because you didn't do more than one fight on the show, you can't help us.
So I'm going to actually say...
But you must know people who had more than one fight on the show.
I was there the entire time. I'm going to say that actually you do only get 2 hours between the two fights during the head-to-heads. There is pretty much...
Okay.
They've got a lot to pack in there. But what you have got is Robot Wars was filmed over 2 long weekends. So there is a slot in the middle where... between some of the shows where you may have got a bit more repair time.
But the Apollo one, probably...
Nope, there would have been 2 hours.
Probably 2 hours.
2 hours. And remember, on site, we've got a welding team and a metal cutting team on site. So there is some help for you as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously, for health and safety, you can't bring your own welder. So
No.
So there's a team who will help you do that. So that's why you're getting a lot of. It seems like a lot gets done because there's actually
They've got all the apparatus.
Yeah, and remember, you've also got like 30 roboteers who haven't got much to do.
Yeah.
So if you get, all of those guys involved and you go, has anyone got this? And everyone goes, yes, like that. So definitely it is 2 hours, genuinely, yeah.
You're like, yes, and for some reason, everything on my robot's in immaculate condition.
I'm not sure
because
why.
I just got
And
flipped.
by the way, that's going to cost you £500.
Yeah. Genius.
You can't lend stuff in Robot Wars,
No.
remember that. Because if you lend and they give it back, it's normally knackered.
Jonathan also asks, since Robot Wars and BattleBots are finishing this week, are you going to continue the podcast or put it on a hiatus until next year?
No, sir. We are going to continue our podcast. It's going to be more furious and more meandering in its times because we don't have much to talk about. But we will talk about. I really want to talk about the flamingo problem that's been happening.
That's been awful.
Loch Ness and other things. There's a lot to talk about. No, we're going to be seriously. We're going to be doing. We're going to talk to more in depth into roboteers and their builds.
I'd say think Ian Lewis special.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that was in depth.
Yeah.
A chat with Ian Lewis, and not specifically about his fights, really.
So yeah, we're going to do a lot more specials. We're also going to be doing. Hopefully, we'll be heading for Season 3 of BattleBots, Season 2 of Robot Wars. Obviously, they're not announced yet, but I hope that's what we're going to aim for. So we really want to we're going to start talking to the builders.
Yeah, we'll have some big-time build-up for that.
We will do. So definitely you're going to still get inside the bot.
So Gabe, what about BattleBots Season 1?
Yay! Let's do that. That's amazing. And it's going to be shown in the UK. What side is it going to be on?
Spike
TV.
Spike UK, I think it's...
How can we watch that?
Freeview, it's on Freeview.
Okay, so Freeview.
Channel 30, I think.
And we'll do all the shows with it. Yes, we will. That's going to be awesome. You guys are going to love it. So, BattleBots, yes.
Cool. That's from Johnny. He's done his questions. We had one from Chris.
Okay. Who's he?
Chris from Team Kernov. Kernov?
No. Is he American?
And you've met him. Could you say a massive thanks to Gabe and Rob on the podcast for helping me get my robot Loki 2 back together after each of its fights at Insomnia last weekend, especially after Rob trashed it in its first fight.
There you go.
That's embarrassing, isn't it, Gabe?
It's not because he's got a different surname. Let me look.
Is it Chris?
Don't say it out. So if you gave me his right name, then I'd know who he was.
All right. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the question and comment. And any more, get in touch, insidethebot@gmail.com. So we are going to be back for BattleBots this week, the final, which is going to be cool, Gabe.
It's going to be exciting.
And then we're going to do BattleBots Season 1.
We are indeed.
We're going to travel back in time. And we're going to do podcasts for Season 1 because it's being shown on the Spike TV channel, same time as Robot Wars.
Is it?
Yep,
What,
Sundays at 8.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
At 8 o'clock?
Sundays at 8.
Oh, yeah, but it's
On
not going to
Spike.
clash, is it?
No, Gabe, because
say.
Robot Wars is finished.
I know. So anyway, yeah, so do you know what? You're not going to lose your fighting robots. We're going to switch to BattleBots Season 1 on Spike, Sundays at 8 o'clock. And do you know what? If you haven't seen the fights, they are fantastic and something to look forward to.
And I'd say, don't spoil it for yourself.
Watch one after the other.
Watch it all unfold, and listen to us on Inside the Bot.
Exactly. So
it's a great time to sign off.
Yep.
And what better way to sign off than by listening to the words of the eternally famous now Dave Young, captain of Team Apollo, who I caught up with. So I've been Will Cedric.
I'm Gabe.
and this has been inside the bot.
So, in your first Carbide fight, not the final fight, you took that hit after you were immobile. Was that actual fury, or was that kind of telly fury?
It was 50-50, really. Obviously, we weren't particularly happy that we'd taken the damage. We are dead. We knew exactly what it was. We could tell that the link had come out. We weren't.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to magically fall back in. There was no way we were coming back to life. We did say to Dave, please don't. We have another fight. But he did give us a hit on the side. I suppose at the end of the day, he's looking out for himself. There's a possibility we're going to be fighting again later if we both make the final. So if we can take a bit of damage, then obviously good for him. Luckily for us, with it being that it was the second hit from Carbide that took out the link, the first hit turns Carbide over. And when Carbide's upside down, his disc is slightly high off the ground.
Yeah.
All the damage that he did is literally just cut straight into the side of the robot. But it literally just took the dust off the top of the wheels. It missed everything by fractions of millimeters.
Yeah, you don't want another PP3D scenario going on, do you?
Well, if Carbide had been the right way up, his disc would have been lower, and it would have done a bit more damage than that. It would have literally just destroyed the entire drive unit on that side. And that would have been it then. There'd have been no way we could have repaired that in the time. So luckily, he was upside down.
So there was a bit of redemption in the final, at least.
Yeah, it was great to get our own back against them, and get a few good flips on them. And I think one of them he landed on the disc, and that took out. I can't remember if it was the clutch or the motor that got taken out, but that was the telling tale for that fight.
So anyway, what does it mean to you guys to have won Robot Wars? Were you all massive fans of the first show?
Yeah, as people are of our age, everyone kind of grew up. We're at that age generation where we were younger when we watched it, and now we've grown up and we're at that age bracket where we can be taking part. I myself have been competing with robots since about 2002, I think we were trying to work out. So it's kind of in my history, really, for the last so many years. I took part in Extreme Series 2, Series 7, then literally from the start of the era of live events, went from there. And so, it means a lot, really, to win the reboot. It's a fantastic thing.
Did you expect to have one of the best robots there?
No, never in a million years. The level of robots now in the UK is incredible. It seems to be the same robots win all the live events, whether it be TR2 or Eruption and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It seems to be those guys who win all the live events. And obviously they did very well. Eruption had a lot of bad luck in his heat. TLC obviously makes the finals, but it was great to start seeing different robots. I guess from the audience point of view, they don't know much difference, but from Roboteers' point of view, if we start seeing the exact same robots win all the same live events, win the TV show, I think it's quite refreshing to see something a bit different. Yeah,
definitely. So at what point did you start to believe that maybe you could win Robot Wars this year?
Not until the point we got handed the trophy, really. It was just from as soon as we won the first. Well, we didn't even win the first fight. We came second, and we scraped through.
Yeah.
That was it. That was our target. We just hope we want to get through the first fight, and then at least you get into the round robin. You get 4 fights then on TV. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then we progressed from there on. We were like, wow, we're in the heat final. If we lose now to Storm 2, he's the ex-Robot Wars world champion. Fantastic. We go and beat him. We're like, right, okay. And then every fight, we just kind of said the same thing. If we get to that stage, then fantastic. If we lose, then so be it. And it was the same going into the final. And I was nervous for quite a few fights, but for some unknown reason, for the final, I wasn't nervous at all. And I think that was more to the fact I was like, worst case scenario, we're going to come second in Robot Wars. And that is amazing. So, and my family were up there while they were in the audience watching, and my mum suffers with nerves really bad, and she was getting very excited. I was like, look, it doesn't matter. If we don't win, we don't win. We've got to the final of Robot Wars. It's amazing. And we just couldn't believe it. It was fantastic.
So I'm going to tell you right now, Series 2 is happening. You've got to make some changes to your robot maybe if you feel like it. What do you do?
Don't really know. Obviously, Apollo's done relatively well, as it is.
Yeah.
But everyone's going to evolve. We've spoken to all the teams. Teams are building brand new robots, or they're upgrading their robots. everybody knows how we work and how Apollo can win fights, and so they're going to exploit that weakness really. And so we definitely need to do some changes, possibly try and make it a little bit smaller so it's a bit more agile and faster.
Yeah.
But it was relatively nippy, and a lot of the teams didn't like the steel floor of the arena. We loved it. It worked perfectly with Apollo. It just kind of skimmed nicely. You could power slide across the arena, and it just worked. So yeah, maybe if we get a chance, try and make it a bit smaller and so on. But the main thing is trying to get time more than anything to do anything on it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the only weakness we've really seen was the wheels. PP3D was the only thing that really, I'd say, was actually exposed a proper weakness in the design. But how many undercutting spinners are there, really?
This is it, and we've seen a lot of reviews of the Heat episode, and there people are saying, there you go, you've got exposed wheels, that's what's going to happen. And we're like, well, technically we haven't got exposed wheels, they're within the robot that goes around it. The wheels have got to stick out at some point to make the robot move. There's not a lot we can really do about that.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming on.
That's all right. Cheers for having us.
Do you want to do any shout-outs or anything?
Yeah, obviously, we've absolutely had a fantastic response on Twitter and Facebook, and we've had some absolutely awesome comments from supporters of the show and teams as well, and other teams that didn't make the show, or other people who know us throughout the years, and people who have known me grow up with doing the robots from just being a young kid, really have kind of been there and supported us. And thank you very much to everyone for all the kind words and support, and hopefully the show continues, and hopefully series 2 is round the corner.
Yeah, hopefully. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
Cool, man. Cheers for coming on.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you later.